For a more in-depth look at some of today's biggest headlines, we've got Harvey Kronberg back in the studio this Monday. Harvey, welcome back to the Capitol tonight.
Well, it's kind of a slow news environment, isn't it? Not at all.
All right, let's start off with Texas Senator Ted Cruz. He's reportedly planning or laying the groundwork for a presidential run in 2028. And the big topic is sort of this division that there is in MAGA world over growing anti-Semitism in some conservative circles. Of course, he's been very critical of Tucker Carlson's interview with Nick Fuentes. Can a candidate who is not all in on MAGA win the Republican nomination in 2028? How is that splitting conservatives?
Well, we'll see what happens in the midterms, but we saw what happened in the election Tuesday a week ago when essentially it was a seismic shock. Democrats won everything down to school board races in Georgia. It's already caused a realignment inside the White House. If there is some kind of blue tsunami in the midterms, I think that there's going to be a serious reappraisal going into the 2028 election, which does play for the decline of the MAGA powers.
Interesting. Now let's turn to the Democrats. At the Texas Tribune Festival this weekend, Joaquin Castro said that he was willing to run for Attorney General if some of the other candidates sort of split up the rest of the ticket. We're talking, of course, of James Tallarico, Colin Allred, and then the potential of Beto O'Rourke joining. Obviously, that didn't happen. Tallarico and Allred are in the Senate race. And O'Rourke hasn't declared what his intentions are. But what do you think he will do? And does that change anything for Joaquin Castro?
No, the battle is going to be obviously at the top of the ticket in terms of the Democratic primary. The only thing that's really going to be interesting, frankly, for the Democrats is going to be the Senate race, I suspect. But, you know, Tallarico versus Allred, they were supposedly going to have a stand down briefly, and Allred decided to break the covenant and go ahead and declare, which kind of threw everything into disarray. But as far as fundraising goes, the only one that seems to have demonstrated, well, I haven't mentioned Jasmine Crockett. If she gets in,
yeah,
that is the wild card for everything. I think she could be a fundraising magnet. Whether she could win a general election remains to be seen.
And I think that's what she's trying to decide. If she can win it, then she'll go, but we'll see. I think she said she's going to make her decision before Thanksgiving, but won't announce till December 8th. Let's turn to the Republican side of this. Last week, Senate Majority Leader, John Thune, sent out an endorsement and fundraising letters for John Cornyn. There's been all this concern from national Republicans that if John Cornyn isn't the candidate here in Texas, that it could flip the seat. Every Republican analyst that we've had on the show says, we're not so sure about that. Maybe we're not putting that much stock in that. How do you interpret it?
I think it certainly increases the possibilities. If Paxton were at the top of the ticket, Cornyn and Thune are both very correct. They'd have to spend a lot of money defending him in not only in Texas, but it has the potential of him becoming the Mamdani of the Republican Party, the face with all the implicit corruption and accusations and the impeachment record. It could become a metaphor for other Republicans running.
And let's talk about the Epstein files, because that's the major talking point in the news today, with President Trump now saying he wants to release the Epstein files. I know, it's like whiplash, back and forth, back and forth. How many Texas Republicans do you think were ready to vote to release the files before this, and what do they do now that the president has reversed course?
Fortunately, they never had to make that decision, because now they've got to get out of jail, literally free card. They got to pass from the president, and I don't think there's going to be any upside to voting against releasing the Epstein file. So I think it'll be pretty near unanimous. I could be mistaken on that, but I just don't see any political upside for a no vote on release.
Well, now that they have the backing of the president, yeah.
But they never had to make that choice. But this Republican Congress, for the most part, does what it's told. And we haven't seen any, with the exception of Chip Roy, we haven't seen any outbreaks of independence in the congressional delegation.
And I think Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie maybe want a word about that. That's our Harvey Kronberg. Thanks so much for joining us.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Let Spectrum News be your resource for balanced, in-depth political coverage. And click the subscribe button here. You can also download our app and watch us on TV to learn more about the candidates, where they stand on the issues, and more. We'll see you then.